So both of these guys on the losing end of the record side. Eric Belvine 1-3 out of Omaha, fighting out of Ground Zero Martial Arts. Miljan Djukanovic is 0-1, fighting out of Des Moines, out of Absolute Martial Arts.
Fight fans, this contest is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds at a DC catchweight 165 pounds. Brought to you tonight by Eric David Herrera Photography. Introducing first, fighting out the J blue corner. This freestyle fighter sits 5'7", weighed in 162.2 pounds. He holds an amateur record, 2 wins, 1 defeat. Representing Absolute Martial Arts and fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa by way of Belgrade, Serbia, Miljan Djukanovic. His opponent across the cage, fighting out the Nebraska Lottery red corner, is a Vekuns de Hadi style fighter, standing 6 foot tall, weighed in 167 pounds. He holds an amateur record, 1 win, 3 defeats, representing Ground Zero Arts and fighting out of Nebraska, Eric Hitman Belvine.
All right, well, here you go, round 1. We got a quick takedown there, Henry. I expect Djukanovic to stay pretty heavy here on him. You know, lets him stand up, but I expect him to take him right back down. Belvine actually creates a little bit of separation there. And then Djukanovic goes right back in with that hip toss takedown. Belvine moving up higher like for a triangle. This is not where Belvine wants to be.
Miljan, I'd stay on him if I was Miljan. Throw the legs by, see if he can go for a go to side control here. Oh.
Man, Belvine throwing all that fancy stuff.
You know, I'm all for throwing some strikes and stuff, but if I'm him, I'm probably going to lay off the spin kicks.
I'll tell you what. Miljan closes the distance, grabs a hold of him, and he's going for that hip toss takedown again.
I'll tell you what, man, my feet ain't leaving the ground.
I will tell you, man, so far Belvine has been able to get back up after Miljan's taken him down. So that's, you know, he's definitely fought back pretty well. I expected to see Miljan be a little bit heavier in the hips and keep him on his back.
See if Miljan can drop down. Eric keeping his knees together. He needs to get a little bit more wider spread. I'm looking. If he drops down, grabs both legs and pulls through. Though he's tended to try to kind of more of the Greco-Roman fight up top.
It's definitely been interesting seeing him not trying to go for those double unders or along those lines as a wrestler. Has been, you know, it's a little different to see. Oh, there we go.
Now he's dropping down more to the legs. Good come up from Eric.
Man, Eric's been real good about, you know, getting back on his getting those feet back under him even after he gets taken down.
On now to round number 2. Once again, this fight's brought to you by Eric David Herrera Photography, the official photographer of Dynasty Combat Sports. Make sure you check out all his social medias. Eric David Herrera.
So I mean, Henry, after that first round, I mean, what do we want to see from Eric? I mean, he's got to create some distance. He's got to keep him out of that body lock that Miljan keeps putting him in.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm going to lay off the spin kicks, okay? Look more, really focus on my hands, man. If you want to kick low, go for the calf kick, something like that. There's less work with dealing with him grabbing that. If I'm Miljan, I put him up against the cage, and I'm looking for that double leg and right to the back.
Man, I mean, how disappointing to him does it have to be that every time he's put Belvine on his back, Belvine's found a way to get back to his feet and get his feet underneath him?
I think you just got to follow him a little bit more to the ground. Really just kind of keep that clinch, basically you get your hands locked and then use it to pass.
Oh, look at that.
Good job closing the distance here.
Wow.
I will say one thing, and see if he goes for that wrist grip. One thing Eric would need to do if we get to the third, really get out early into the center of the cage. Circle and get to the center. You see Miljan was smart. He ran straight at him, basically closed the distance before Eric could even get anything off.
So, I mean, in here, he kind of wants to move Belvine's back from against the cage, because at this point, Belvine can use that cage to kind of crawl back up, right?
If he knows how to, for the most part. So he's also can use it. So, early days you look at it, Tito Ortiz, those guys, they punish guys against the cage. That was what you wanted, man. Nowadays it's the opposite, man. Guys are really good at getting up off the cage. They used walls to practice that all the time, getting their butt under them and coming up. So I think it really just depends on the opponent that you have.
I'm seeing Belvine's down here throwing some elbows from the bottom, which is actually, not a bad idea.
Nope, doing a good job coming up. If I'm Miljan, I'm going to the back here.
I've been impressed on how good of a job he has done of getting back to his feet. I mean, I keep saying it, but he's done a good job against
Kimura on the good work with the Kimura. See if he can pull it back here. He's got it. I don't know if
he's committing to it now. Oh, he's got behind him.
Oh, he's got to run it up his spine, basically, from here. If he runs this up Miljan's spine, he's basically got to run it to his head. He's got to take his wrist up into his head. I'll tell you what, Miljan has to be strong.
The crazy thing about these
Wow.
is these strong guys can sit there and hold that and then end up just destroying their rotator cuffs if they fight it too hard.
That is true, but man, the fact that he was able to get this basically out from being behind his back, from barred behind his back, man, that should have been a done deal. This guy has to be, obviously being a Greco team member for Serbia, he's got to be insanely strong.
Yeah, he's going to feel that tomorrow, though.
Oh, man, I'm sure his rotator cuff is screaming right now. That was a good attack, though, from Belvine. I don't know if I'd have gone to the guard pole, though, necessarily, but I think he just would have kept running it. And then I'd also scooted out to the side. Man, Belvine might have stole that right with that submission attempt. Might have stole that round a bit.
I want to see how he holds his arm when he walks away here. Just to see if that.
He ain't rubbing it.
No, it doesn't
somehow.
Doesn't look like that arm's going to be a factor in the third round, but.
Man, that has to. I don't know how he did that.
Man, it's kind of crazy to sit here and think. It's like, what do we expect to see here in this third round? Belvine's beat him in his own game at this point. At least in that last round, working from the bottom, getting that Kimura, isolating that arm. It's not bad.
Oh, looks like they're trying to stretch his back out a bit, maybe, or something.
And at this point, I mean, after that attempt on the Kimura, I mean, does that just kind of deflate you as the fighter on the other side as far as Belvine? He looks a little defeated right now.
Yeah, man, I would, I'd use it as a.
Uh-oh.
He might be stopping.
I think they're going to call it.
He's going to quit.
I mean, do you think he's just exhausted?
That or his rib. I wasn't 100% sure what he was saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's his arm, if it's his wrist, if it's his ribs. You know, you always hate to see a fight end that way. Man, they both put up a great fight. Man, that was a great fight. So best fight of the night so far by far. He can barely get up the cage. He's exhausted. So Henry, I'm assuming that that the commissioner in Nebraska is no longer in the pre-fight fighter meeting. Is telling them if they climb up the cage, it's no longer a 60-day suspension.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just know that used to be one of those things that used to really upset fighters.
We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, with his opponent unable to answer the bell, your winner, out of the Twin G blue corner, Miljan Djukanovic.